Good afternoon. The time is now 3:10 approximately, and it's May 5th, 2011. My name is Thomas Devine. I'm a videographer from Alliance Reporting.
Okay. I want to introduce on the tape, first of all, the star of this show, Mr. Peter Ausnet.
Thank you.
And my name is Ira Turret. I'm an attorney practicing law in New York. I'm admitted in New York and Florida. I've been practicing for 35 years and have specialized in the field of trusts and estates practice. Peter, we are here to execute a document.
Definitely.
And do you know what that is?
Yes, the will.
Good. And I have met with you for about at least a half hour prior to this.
Yes.
We actually videotaped my meeting with you and our discussion. Do you recall that?
I don't recall a videotaping it.
No, we
but-
were just videotaping
Oh,
it.
you mean now?
Today, yes.
Oh, yes.
And
I
you know
thought
that
you meant
you know-
yesterday.
no, yesterday I met with you to go over your instructions before preparing these documents. And I have shown you both of these documents earlier today.
Definitely.
You've gone over them with me. I've gone over the dispositive provisions, and you have scanned them and read them. And I have explained to you exactly which each does. And you have a will that you're going to be signing, and then you also have an irrevocable trust that you're going to be signing. Now, I've explained to you what this kind of will is called, right?
Yes.
Yeah, do you remember that, what it is?
This is the one that pour over.
Yes, this is a pour-over will, which pours any assets that you have upon your death into the trust that you're also going to be executing today.
Okay.
Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to execute the will.
Thank you.
In order to execute a valid will in New York, it has to be duly executed, meaning that it has to be signed by you in the presence of two persons that you ask to act as your witnesses, and they have to do so at your request. They have to be convinced that you are of sound mind and memory, that you are conversant in the English language, and that you are free of any restraint or undue influence.
Yes.
Has anyone in the world forced you to do anything that you want to do in connection with these wills? Has anybody forced you or coerced you?
Nobody has influenced me to do anything today.
Okay. Now, in connection with your son, Christopher, I would like you to make a few remarks about what he's done for you and what your nature of your relationship is with him now.
Well, I have an extraordinarily fine relationship with Christopher. I think he's extremely intelligent. I think he is managing his charitable thing, which is in the size of Texas, believe it or not. And he is directly responsible for the live birth of thousands of children.
Now, what about he's been here in New York for several weeks with you, caring for you and looking after you.
Yes.
And can you tell us what, if anything, that's done for you?
Well, he has changed my physical strength. I'm now able to walk many blocks. I'm now able to walk around my apartment more or less in an unlimited way. And I've changed my eating habits, and the results are marvelous. I mean, if people had told me in advance half of that, I wouldn't have believed them. But it is truly the word extraordinary. It really is. I really love him, and he has really helped me.
And he has offered, by the way, has he not, to have you move to California and to live with him
Yes.
for the duration of your days, if that's your desire?
Yes, that's right.
He hasn't insisted on that or anything of that character. And I take it you have told him, at least you told me, that you are very strongly considering doing that, because he has a 3-room ground level house, and you love California and the weather, and you're thinking
I've been
about
there many times, and I know the Beverly Hills Hotel intimately.
Now, let me ask you just a few questions.
Please.
First of all, what's your date of birth?
October 11th, 1931.
Okay, and do you know what your social security number is?
Certainly 078283138. Excuse me.
Great. And, you know, I don't know whether or not you follow current events or much, but can you
Definitely.
tell me if you know what's of moment gone on in the world in the last week or so?
Well, the whole world, the whole free world, is rejoicing because Mr. Osama bin Laden has been executed. He was not only a coward, and our president, Mr. Obama, has, after 5 days of describing that, not to show any photographs. And I believe, I think that this is one of the best things that he has done, the president has done. One of the best things.
Right, and that was because he didn't want to, you discussed with me before, he didn't want to incite
Right.
further vengeance or,
Oh, yeah.
or perpetuate something that now is done and over with.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, well, having gone over a few of those questions and having discussed with you what you wanted to do, I am convinced that you're of sound mind, memory, etc. We have here, and during this session that we have been videotaping, the two witnesses that I asked to come down. One of them is David Field, who you've met
Yes.
and interviewed, and you are aware that he has an affiliation with the place that we're located right now, 5080 79th Street, and the Memorial Library, which is for the purposes of education in matters of the Holocaust. And he has also brought down the administrative assistant of the organization to act as a witness.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do now is I am going to give you a blue pen, and I am going to ask you at the lower right-hand corner of your will to put your initials, just your initials.
This thing isn't working too well.
All right, well, we'll use a little.
Sorry.
I use a different pen. Okay, and then you keep doing that on each page. Okay, you've done that on page 2.
Thank you.
Do it on page 3, please. Okay,
Thank
and
you.
page 4. And page 5. Now, I'm going to ask the witnesses if they wouldn't mind stepping around. One of them is David A. Field, who
Yes.
was the first one coming into the picture. And
Right.
the second is
You're part
Ildigo,
of-
I hope I'm pronouncing the name right, Ildigo Kopay. You've both been present during the entire discussion that I've just been having with Mr. Austin, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, good. You're going to probably have to
Oh.
talk loud because you're not wearing any microphones, but if you get close to this microphone, you'll be able to hear it. And you have
you hear us?
witnessed,
Did you hear us? Yes. Okay.
you have witnessed Mr. Austin putting his initials on each of the pages of this will, and I'm going to ask him to stop when he gets to the last page. And the last page says, "In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and seal this blank day of May 2011. So you have to put in that day. I think we were joking before that it's Cinco de Mayo, which
Right,
is the
5.
5, yes, the 5th day of May. Put in a little TH because that'll show the 5th. Great.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
There we go.
And then I'm going to ask you to sign right on that line.
Okay, may I just turn this a little
You
bit?
can turn it in any way you want
Thank you.
that makes it convenient for you.
Thank you.
Okay, now, first of all, I want to ask, are you requesting Mr. Field and Ms. Kopay, is it, to act as witnesses to your will?
Definitely, they're right here.
Okay, and this is your will that you've
Definitely.
reviewed and you've now signed on the 5th of May, 2011. I'm going to read what it says here, which is the attestation clause. The foregoing instrument, consisting of 9 pages, including this page, was on the day and year last hereinbefore written, signed, sealed, published, and declared by the said testator, Peter Ausnet, as and for his last will and testament, who at his request and his presence and in the presence of each other have hereunto set our names as attesting witnesses. It's a great secretary I got. Okay. I'm now going to ask the witnesses to
Like me
both
to move
sign.
or something?
No, you can stay where you are. The witnesses will be reaching down. I think that their hands will be seen. Mr. Field will sign on the first line and put in his residence, which, if you wish, you can put down at this address, David.
No, it's, my home address is in Florida.
Okay.
And I'm going to send
Okay,
affidavit
yes,
to-
and I'm going to want you to sign the what we call a self-exing affidavit of the attesting witnesses, which you've both looked at, which indicates that he is of sound mind, in your opinion, and of memory and free of restraint, and that you signed in his presence and the various other things that are set forth in that affidavit that we discussed. Now, we're turning over this piece of paper. David, if you wouldn't mind switching positions
Would you like me to move again?
No.
with this
it's
young
fine.
lady so that she is slightly visible, I guess, in the video. And she will put down her address. Okay.
Should I sign also?
And she is now going to sign this affidavit, which recites what I said before, that she believes that he is of sound mind and memory and was free of restraint at this time of the will, and that it was signed in the presence of the other witness and in the presence of yourself, and that I, Ira A. Terrett, supervised the execution of this instrument. Okay, since both of these witnesses have signed this instrument in my presence, I have now affixed my notary stamp, and I am going to acknowledge that their signatures were placed on this instrument on this 5th day of May, and I'm signing my name. And we have another document that I have attached to this will that I want to explain to you and that we talked about yesterday. You've designated David Field to be an executor under this will, along with your son. You've also designated me to be a successor.
Yes.
And I've explained to you that when an attorney, including an attorney draftsman like myself, acts as an executor of your estate, they're entitled to be compensated under the law with a fixed amount of commissions. And the law provides for what those are. But it is necessary for me to ask you at this time whether or not you acknowledge that I have explained that to you.
Yes, you did.
And to have you sign this acknowledgement that I have made these disclosures to you. And I'm going to ask you to sign it over here, and then I'm going to have the two witnesses sign their names as well. So if
Pardon
you
me,
would
let
sign
me
this-
just turn it just a little bit like this.
Sure.
Pardon me.
Okay, and if you
Sorry.
would put underneath that the date, which is May 5, right next to where it says the date. That's
Oh,
good.
there,
Yeah.
sorry.
May 5, 2011. Right. Okay, I'll just ask the witnesses to come over and sign their names. David, why don't you sign on the top first? We'll do it in the same order in which you signed the other instrument. Okay, and then you're going to sign underneath there. Okay, that's excellent. And we are now completed. There was one thing that I had done in the drafting of this instrument that you noted before, and that was that I had put in the name of your friend Booth as Susan Booth, and in fact it is Mary Booth.
Right.
And we made that change in my red pen, and then I thought that she was married to your old friend David. In
Daughter.
fact, she was the daughter. And
Definitely.
you have now, you initialed that change
Yes.
before you initialed these pages and before you
Yes.
signed the will.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that we had that correct. Okay, now I can excuse the witness copay because we don't need you anymore, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We are now going to proceed to the execution of the irrevocable trust. So I am going to get Christopher, who has not been in this room, to come in to act as a co-trustee. I don't know
Right,
exactly.
he's
where
out
he is.
fiddling with the car.
David Field is, yeah, he may be down doing something. So David Field is going to get him. We'll go off the air for just a minute.